Greetings and welcome to the International College of Behavioral Counseling. Today we present life-defining axioms. Each axiom contains essential wisdom for living. And today's axiom simply states, murder, suicide, and insanity are not good choices. I think you'll agree with me there. Sometimes the only choice we have is either to make it or to break it. We are not only held accountable for the choices we make, but also for the choices we don't make. And the life we live is determined by the choices we make. Therefore, make good choices. Choose well and live. Every decision we make has a price tag attached to it. And sometimes the price tag is far greater than the worth it is. So consider, first of all, the choices that you have, the alternatives you have, and then the cost that's attached to each choice. Insanity or misery are not good choices, and it's unacceptable alternatives. Only two choices you have, either to make it or to break it, and each one will have painful consequences. But to remain in an unfulfilled or a dangerous situation is unthinkable. So you must choose whether to live or to stay, what to do. Choose well and live. Moses gave the children of Israel an alternative. He says, choose life and live. I'm going to paraphrase what he says in Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 19 through 20. I call heaven and earth to record against you this day. I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life that you may live. Choose life. Because there's blessings and cursings, and sometimes we will live in a curse. No, choose life and live, and then he tells you what the consequences or the blessings will to be of the chosen life, that you may live, and that you will love the Lord, and you will hear his voice, and you will serve him, and it'll be well with you. There's a whole cornucopia of blessings that come when you choose life. Well, sometimes we have the choice of living or dying, and many of us choose to stay in the same situation. No, choose life and live. Um, here are two people that I wouldn't want to be married to either one of them. I don't think any lady would like to be married to the gentleman on the left-hand side there. Or perhaps I wouldn't want to be married to this lady who already has taken her hand and given me the fivefold ministry, pow, right in the kisser, the face. It was Solomon who made this statement. It is better to live in the wilderness than to live in a wide house with a contentious woman. And of course, Solomon spoke from experience. He had 300 wives and 700 concubines. How can you possibly keep 1,000 women happy? So he said it's better to live in the wilderness than in a large home with a contentious woman. Now, when you talk about a contentious woman, it's not only a contentious woman, but there are contentious people all around us, women, men, boss, colleague, a monster, or whomever. And it's not very pleasant to live in the wilderness. The wilderness is a place that's totally unsettled. There are no roads, there are no telephone poles to give you any point of reference, no fences, nothing. You're there alone. And it's a very scary place, but it's better to live in that scary wilderness alone than to live with a contentious person. You see, there is a cost involved in every choice we make. And so if you live with a contentious person, there's a price tag, and it's not a very nice price tag. Alternatively, you can live in the wilderness, and there's a price tag involved in that as well. Excuse me. Some carry a higher price tag than the product is really worth. Your options then are between blessings and cursings, life and death. Father, help me to choose the blessing. What is your default emotion when you find yourself confronted by a very difficult situation? Oh, first of all, what is a default? Well, in computer science, a default is an assigned value that's given to the computer that it'll always stay there unless you give it another instruction. For example, the fonts that you see on the screen here are all Times New Romans, and they're about 30, and the font is the size 30. Occasionally, I go to italics and I put a different color on, but as soon as I'm finished with that, it'll return to its default Times New Roman size 30. Well, you too have default emotions, and I ask you this question: what kind of emotions do you usually revert to under stressful situations? What's your default emotion when things don't go your way, when trials hit you, when problems hit you, when a reversal takes place? Is it anger? Or perhaps it's revenge. I'll get a hold of him and I'll make him pay for it. Perhaps it's hatefulness. I hate the very ground he walks on. Ooh. Or self-pity. I feel sorry for myself. I'll sit there and marinate in the juices of my own self-pity for hours, feeling sorry for poor little me. Maybe it's self-pity. Maybe it's unforgiveness. I'll never forgive the guy. Or bitterness. Or unhappiness. Or perhaps strife. Or envy. Or depression. Oh, depression's a big one. Many of us go into a depressive state to the place where we'll need tranquilizers. Or perhaps murder. I'd like to kill him if I could. Or if I can't kill him, then I imagine killing him. Worry, resentfulness, suicide. That's an easy escape from everything. Just call it quits. But there are other emotions you can choose as well, such as love and peace and joy and gentleness, faith, meekness, kindness, goodness, mercy, patience. These are all fruits of the Spirit. They are godly choices. If you carry the choices on the left-hand side, it'll do more damage to you, the container who holds it, than the person that you're wishing it upon. But I tell you, love, peace, joyfulness, gentleness, goodness, kindness, mercy. I set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Choose life and live and enjoy life. Now that's good theology. It's great psychology, and it's essential wisdom for living. I'm Wilf Kent. Visit our website on icbconline.org. Until next time, farewell and keep well.